If you've been watching my channel recently, particularly episodes of The Sweet Side, you'll notice the amount of dessert places that have been closing. In recent times, we've had Soft Serve Society, Long Boys, Cinnabon, Pudding Stop, and just recently, Dunk Cookies have advised that they're going to be closing down in June 2026. So what is causing all these closures of these dessert places? Let's go through some of those things. We know recently the government has risen the minimum wage and has also increased NI contributions. Now, this has had a big impact on businesses that are already affected by the cost of living crisis. So it means they have to pay more national insurance, they have to pay more wages, which nobody's against. But when your income is already being affected, it has made a huge impact on businesses. And I think a lot of businesses have said this is one of the reasons, some of the reasons why they've had to close. So the national insurance rises, and the wages as well. Ingredient cost is a big thing, and I've noticed this even though I don't really bake anymore. Sometimes I do, and I've noticed how much things have increased. I'll give you an example. Low pat butter, which is one of the butters I used to sometimes use when I baked and had my little business. Low pat butter used to come in a 250-gram pack, and because it's one of the higher end butters, it was always a bit more expensive. So it could probably touch, when I used to bake, £2. Now, when you buy low pat butter, the grammage, I don't know if that's a word, it's actually now 200 grams and it's about 275. So imagine that the size is reduced, but the price has gone up. And that's happened with a lot of ingredient costs. I know chocolate, which is a main ingredient that a lot of dessert-based businesses use, has gone up, gosh, like fourfold, sometimes more. And if you use chocolate a lot, you imagine you're paying like £600-700 for chocolate, and you haven't even sold anything, you haven't even made anything yet. And it's like not only chocolate and butter, flour, sugar, everything has gone up. Now, you could argue, well, if prices go up, what they should do is increase the cost of their products, which is what some businesses have done. But I know with some businesses, they're probably a bit scared to do that because they feel they're going to lose customers. But I have seen businesses who have said, actually, we are going to raise our prices and this is why. So my thing is, as long as you explain to your customer why you've had to increase your prices, I think that's quite reasonable. I can't see them getting upset about that. But I think businesses are scared to do that and they just swallow the cost. And some do, they swallow the cost for so long and then actually it's like, no, we can't do this anymore because if we keep swallowing the cost, we're not going to be able to survive. So then they do put up their prices. So the thing is, it's about communicating that clearly to your customer as to why you're doing that, and your customer will understand. Another thing, of course, is the cost of living crisis, which has been going on for what? I kind of feel it's been going on since COVID, where a lot of people in certain industries were really heavily affected by the COVID and the restrictions. People's pockets are a lot lighter because bills have gone up, just general living has gone up, but their wages haven't gone up in comparison. So it's like you're asking me to pay for more. I heard recently about how the energy bills are going up again, and it's like everything's going up, but you're not increasing people's wages. So how do you expect people to live? And with that, people will be looking at their budgets and deciding, well, I'm not going to be buying that, I'm not going to be buying that, because they just need enough to be able to just live, to be able to pay their bills, to be able to have the heating on at winter. So little treats, as much as you may be like, oh well, it doesn't cost a lot of money. Those are the kind of things that are quite easy to be like, well, no, I'm not going to buy that cake this week because I've got to pay my gas bill. So that again is also having a big impact, meaning customers are not buying as much as they used to. But as always, there are always been businesses when it comes to challenging environments that buck the trend. So I'm going to talk quickly about three of them. Sourdough Sophia, who recently have opened their third branch in Highgate, seem to be bucking the trend. So they started off in, as you know, in lockdown. Then their first storefront was in Crouch End. Then was it last year or the year before? They opened up in Essex Road. They did a little bit of a stint at Vauxhall in Liverpool Street, but they realised that that kind of environment wasn't for them, so they pulled out of that after a few months. And now they set up in Highgate, and they're looking to like really expand, and they seem to be bucking the trend. And I don't know how they're doing it, but I do know that they have sort of every so often when they're going to launch a new branch, they don't use loans or anything. They reach out to the public so the public can buy into their business, and at some point they can get those dividends. So maybe that's why. They're very prolific on social media, which you kind of need to be. As much as social media is like, you kind of need to be like really all over social media. And the other two businesses are the same, which is probably why they're really bucking the trend. And when I mean all over, I mean literally all over social media, like posts several times a day, which a lot of businesses can't do, especially if you're a one-person band, but that's how it is. The next business I want to talk about is Get Baked. As we know, Get Baked, I've spoken about Get Baked on the channel before. Get Baked with Rich and his kind of unconventional marketing, which seems to work, and his colourful language, which some people like, some people don't. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the whole swearing thing, but I kind of look beyond that and just look at the products, and their products tend to be really good. His approach just seems to like resonate with people. They've recently launched their mint Bertha Burt, and that they've done a pre-release, and that sold out so quickly. So it seems to be going well, even though he has said he has found it challenging. He said that, they have to sell like £500,000 worth of stuff a month just to survive. So not to say they're not finding it challenging, but they have to go all in. And as well as online, they do have storefronts. They've got one in Leeds and one in Manchester. So they seem to be bucking the trend, though they are finding it challenging. And then lastly, Finch Bakery. Finch girlies, Rachel and Lauren, the twins, who they do social media very well, but they even admit to the struggles of the businesses, how much it costs for ingredients when they have slow days. They're very transparent about that on their social media. Be like, oh, we've already sold this amount. So they're very transparent about it as well, though they seem to be doing quite well. But again, it's because they're very prolific on social media. So I think that is the thing that ties all those three businesses together. But we will see as time goes on what happens anyway with those businesses and other businesses as well. So those are my thoughts on the dessert industry. People will always want desserts. I just feel that it may be a case of people rather going to supermarkets where you can get like cakes and desserts cheaper than independent bakers and independent businesses. I think unfortunately, we are going to see more businesses close this year, because the economic environment at the moment is just on a downward trend. There's no kind of signs of any kind of recovery. It might have a lift at Christmas, because I feel people, even if people are kind of struggling with their personal finances, when it comes to Christmas time, they will always maybe spend a little bit more at Christmas just because it's Christmas. But after that, January it is always a dead month anyway, but I think it will be even more this time. And then the next kind of sort of big kind of event is Valentine's. So yeah. Let me know your thoughts about the dessert industry and the challenges it faces. And if you are an independent baker caker, what kind of challenges are you finding? Until next time, cake lovers.